Our beloved 8% Hard AF Seltzer is now live in over 1,200 locations across the United States. We're now available in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, North Carolina, Ohio, and Texas. Go to hardafseltzer.com today, click on the store locator, enter your city or zip, and find the nearest location closest to you.
Like Kyle. Yeah, just like Kyle. I didn't get the haircut.
Welcome to Drinkin Bros, presented by GhostBed.com. Yeah, welcome to Drinkin Bros, kids. We're back, baby. Hopefully everybody enjoyed their Memorial Day weekends with their loved ones and got some, maybe a little sunburn like myself this weekend, you know?
I didn't go outside.
Did you not?
No.
What'd you do?
Nothing.
No shit. You stayed inside the entire time, pounded off into your chest, probably, right?
Yep.
Yep. And then watched what? What was your thing this weekend?
Let's see. I watched some. What did I watch? I watched a documentary on Ulysses S. Grant, and then I watched another documentary on George Washington.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Practically the same guy.
Practically the same guy.
Yeah.
Same guy.
It was like the first one was 3 episodes, the second one was 4. So in total, I think they were about an hour each, so about 7 hours worth of documentaries. And I watched a little bit of South Park, I think.
There you go. Yeah, just to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, thank God Chase Geiser is here today. My God, dude, I don't know that I could hear a full review of a 7-hour George Washington doc.
No, it was 4 hours for him, but it was Ulysses S. Grant, underrated. Probably the best general this country's ever had.
Really?
Yes.
And the doc changed your mind, or did you know that going in?
I didn't realize how strategically sound he was.
Okay.
And how he was a rise to the moment kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like reckless abandon style, and to his like a lot of our founders died in debt, just trying to support the country and shit. But he did it 100 years after we started, so that's pretty impressive.
Okay. Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. Chase, you host a popular show on InfoWars. Love the suit. Love that you dressed up for us today.
Thank you.
Did you not watch the show and know that we're white trash and there was no need?
I watched a couple episodes actually before I came. I watched your old Hodge Twins episode and a couple of clips where you had
way
Alex
back in the day.
Jones. Yeah, I watched some
Yeah.
old stuff. I went to the YouTube channel and checked
We've been
it out.
on for 9 years now.
Yeah, that's great.
Which
man.
is
Congratulations.
wild. Thank you. Total accident. You know, you don't know, and then all of a sudden something takes off.
How long
and
did
then
you
you're
do
in
it before you knew it was going to like work?
I think episode 101. 101 was the one that I knew it was going to work. Because the first 100, we're just kind of talking about dicks and buttholes and taints every day.
Those were my favorite.
Which is fun. It's a blast, but it can't be a daily show.
Yes.
There's no way it's impossible to continue that on as a daily show.
Now we talk about pop culture buttholes.
Correct.
Like
the one
Hope
behind
Solo's
me.
right
That's
there.
Hope Solo, world famous goalie.
Yeah.
That's her butthole behind me there. But episode 100 was 2 strangers who had never met before who had sex live on air. And we flew them in, and within 30 minutes from picking them up at the airport, they were boning. And it was genuine. They had really never met and everything else. And you seem shocked right now.
I can't tell if you're messing with me or if this really
Oh no,
happened.
it's
Dead
real.
serious.
You can. There's no video of
And
that
it wasn't
one.
like planned. Like it wasn't like this is what you guys are going to do.
Oh, no.
We
it's
asked the
planned,
audience.
yeah.
So we asked the audience of because we never thought we would get to 100. So it was like, hey, what do you guys
Good
want to do if
looking,
we
nasty
do?
looking.
We vetted them. Yeah, they were good looking. The dude was better looking than the girl, actually.
I don't know if
It
I'd
happens
say
so
that out loud
often.
in front of a room full of dudes.
What do you mean? I think it's fine, dude.
I don't think so.
I'm fine in my own
He's so
sexuality.
comfortable.
My wife's back there behind camera. She knows, dude. Like, I'll admit it. If a dude is hot, I'll give him his props.
What percentage gay would you say you are? I was hanging out with some of my friends on.
Only 18%. Now,
there's
yes,
a
do I
spectrum.
love to watch
There's a
graphic
spectrum,
gay
sure.
sex scenes? Yeah, I do. In a movie theater, and I think they're hilarious. But that's more about the comedy for me.
18%.
Right, that's
How
the
did
way
you?
I thought about it.
$18%.
Let's dial this in. How'd you land on 18?
Damn near a fifth of you.
No.
Bob, relax. All right, let us get there first.
Yeah, that's not.
For fuck's
that's
sake.
not it.
Can we dial it back for one goddamn minute?
Has a gay man ever grabbed your penis? Sir?
No, but a gay man has grabbed my ass.
Okay. And how'd you feel about that?
I totally neutral. I wasn't turned on or off put.
Ambivalent, yeah.
Same here. And so for that reason, I was just like, all right. And then I also understood the culture of it. When you come from the South originally, I came from Georgia, you don't see much of it. And then as you get older and you move to New York and Los Angeles, you see more than you should. And it's kind of you're shell-shocked. And then you realize at a certain time, you're like, oh, well, this is just gay dudes having fun the same way that straight dudes
It's almost flattering. Like I was standing outside of a gay bar in West Hollywood, waiting for my wife and her gay friend to come out.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm the straight guy, only straight guy in the neighborhood. Some guy just walks by and grabs my ass and keeps going. I'm like, oh, like, girls don't tell you that they think you're hot like that.
Yeah.
But when a guy grabs your ass, you just know.
Thank you. That's where I landed 18.
That's kind
Welcome, Chase.
And then I sued him, and now he's dead.
That's kind of a win in Rome situation, though, don't you think? Like, if you go to the beach, you might get sunburn, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, it is a win.
So you got to be awake for that.
Sure, but when you're not used to that world, it's shocking at first. I remember calling my parents. I was like, I think everybody in Hollywood is gay.
Yeah.
It turned out they were pedophiles, not gay.
Right.
So
Very similar.
Like, all right, cool.
It's close. Yeah.
But once the shock wears off of like, oh, well, how is this different than a bunch of dudes, frat dudes, watching each other bang? And I was like,
Well, what's crazy is the strippers at the gay bars are like 99% straight guys.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so like one of them asked for my wife's number. She was just my fiance at the time, I believe. Yeah, and
Buddy of mine works at a gay bar in West Hollywood and completely straight, but he was like, bro, I'd never get tips like this anywhere else.
Yeah.
So it made sense to me.
So how did you arrive at 18?
18%. 18%, I think, is the right number to where you're like, all right, maybe in a different world, different time, this could have happened, but not in this one.
So would you rather sleep with Brad Pitt or Rosie O'Donnell?
Ooh, boy.
Because, like, to me, 18% would be you'd pick Brad Pitt.
Yes, Brad Pitt. That's where I go.
That's
Okay,
18%.
so
There's your 18, brother. There's your 18.
This is a good thought experiment then. So what percentage would you assign me? Because we had this whole conversation with me and some friends, and they described not only the percentage, but why they would give it to me. So I'm curious what you would say.
You're at 4%.
They said 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. And here's the reason I'm giving you 4, because you were military. So, like, you've already done a bunch of gay shit. So, like, your dick has already been pressed up against a man in ways that it shouldn't have been, but it was not out of force, not wanting it.
Sure. Well, so their description was
What branch?
somewhat. I was in the Army in the 82nd Airborne. So their description is similar, I guess. It was to assert dominance over somebody. I would fuck a dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like if you were going to like invade someone, and like that was like part of the culture of invading like a village, you would just tear it up.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah. And I can see that too.
Or if somebody wronged me and I banged their straight dad, right?
Yeah.
That's 4%.
Yeah.
And then, because it's a flex to say you fucked the dad. The mom isn't a big flex anymore.
No, it's not.
It's a flex to say you
it
fucked
really
the
isn't.
dad.
Shit.
Mom's already fucking everybody else.
She's a fucking 7th grade teacher, and she's banging everybody. Right. That's how it works these days. So if I fuck your straight dad, that's it for you. You're done.
He's not even banging your mom.
No, you've
like
got to quit your job and go work at a fucking grocery store now.
Sure is.
Like your life's done
It's
at
done.
that point. So
you go into Merrill Edge or wherever you work,
Yeah.
Goldman Sachs, and you say, I've got to quit. So.
Lehman Brothers, that's probably why they fucking collapsed.
Sure is.
Because
Everybody walked
too many
in,
of their dads got banged.
They got banged.
I bet that's what happened.
All their dads were getting banged in New York.
Tell Alex to put that on the fucking show.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get to InfoWars and your book and all that fun stuff in a second. Wanted to go live on YouTube today. District 23 down there, Brandon Herrera, our good buddy, is running for Congress. I know today is May 28th. It is a special runoff election today. If he beats that piece of shit Tony Gonzalez, that's... District has voted red for 100 years. He will be in Congress. We've got to get this fucking guy out of here. However, today is the only day that you can vote. The polls are open until 7 p.m. Voting is open right now. We have a ton of listeners who live in the San Antonio area. Please stop what you're doing. Just pull over. There's not a long lines or anything else. Just go in and vote for Brandon Herrera and then leave. He is trying to knock out this fucking rhino cuck who is in there now, who voted for funding for Ukraine. Didn't he vote against a bunch of fucking gun laws? And all that
he
shit?
voted for the SAFE Act, which is a red flag law. He voted to investigate Trump for J6. He refused to sign the letter from Governor Wheelchair saying that Texas is going to police its own border. Like everything you could do wrong, he's done wrong.
For the Republican Party. He's a Democrat.
Yeah.
So get him the fuck out of there. Today is the day. We'll be following this race very, very closely tonight, and then we'll report back about it tomorrow.
I'm pretty sure that District 23 extends out towards El Paso as well, just in the...
It goes all the way to the border.
Like
if you want to pull it up, Bob, that'd be great.
Yeah, it's like the eastern edge of El Paso. So El Paso was Beto's district forever, that area.
Yes.
But that whole big district that 23 is in includes all the way up to the border, kind of sea clamps around the border there.
Yeah, and look, Brandon has not spent a bunch of money on his campaign. He hasn't raised a bunch of money, doesn't really believe in that either.
No, they've spent like $30 million trying to defeat him.
It's
so funny.
I mean,
awesome. Even if he loses, it's a victory just because they had to spend so much money for
it. It is, but if like I said, it's been read forever, Tony will win this fall, especially with Trump running. Everybody's going down ballot in Texas, so it is what it is. But today's the day, so please go out and vote. Bob, pop that up on the screen right there. Okay.
Yeah, if you're anywhere in there.
Anywhere in this, just pull over, go vote. It doesn't matter. Trey Wetzel, all you fucking guys, just pull over and go vote.
They've probably already voted.
Hopefully. I hope so. But just as a quick reminder, which is why we're going live on YouTube today instead of Patreon. And we'll find out tomorrow if he's in, because he will be a part of Congress and a huge part of Texas here. And we live here, so it matters. Chase, with you, I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
Your show on InfoWars is fucking fantastic. Your takes on everything are very thoughtful and interesting. You have a new book out. Tell everybody about the book.
Yeah, so I wrote a book called The Rise of American Populism. It's available for pre-order on Amazon. It comes out on June 18th. Alex Jones wrote the foreword.
There you go. Is he doing the audio book? Is he going to do the audio book too?
I wish.
Chase is a great guy. He's never part of the Shy Cops.
But I wrote this book. Most of it I wrote probably about 18 months ago. It's written to be timeless. It's not supposed to be just like a hyper, contextualized book that's only relevant now. It's also going to be relevant, I hope, in 100 years. But I wrote this book about a year and a half ago before I even started working at InfoWars. My wife was pissed off because I was ignoring my clients for my advertising business to write this book. But it is like an amphetamine-fueled frenzy speech. And I'm really excited about it. I wrote it with my own hand. It's not ghostwriter bullshit or anything like that. And I really hope people read it.
Awesome. If you'll sign a copy for me, that'd be great.
Yeah, I will. I got to keep this copy because it's my only one.
I know.
But I'll
you got to do the rounds
with it.
I'll get you
one.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Speaking of the American populism, you talked about something on your show the other day that was super fascinating to me that I wanted to bring up. Was is the 2024 election too big to rig? And is it too big to fail here at this point, meaning they can't rig it on the other side? Now, on your show, you had said Democrats could probably roughly, with dead people and what's the other thing? What's the other balloting?
Just harvesting?
Harvesting, that's it.
Yeah.
You could probably switch 5 to 10% of the votes to do it. I actually agree with that, and I think that's probably what happened in 2020 in some of these counties. I think they mapped it down to specific counties, because I think that entire race came down to 5 counties, correct?
Something like that. And they tried to do the same thing in 2016. It just wasn't enough.
Well, Cambridge Analytica did a better job, is what really happened in 2016. So Cambridge Analytica used the same tactics that the Democrats used in 16 and 20, but instead of cheating, they just used direct digital marketing on Meta and a couple of other platforms, right? So instead of spending hundreds of millions of dollars on ad spends, they narrowed down their ad spend to the specific counties that they needed to win.
It was brilliant. Right? And they tried to blame Steve Bannon for that. And immediately after the Cambridge Analytica scandal, if you remember, they brought Mark Zuckerberg into Congress, and he had to act like a robot sipping his water. Yeah. And that's when all the massive censorship happened, and you see like the deep state get intimately involved in all the social media platforms, like the Twitter files. But to answer your question, the 5 to 10% number is just a from the gut, like intuitive thing. I don't have specific data to back that up.
Me neither. It just it made sense when you said it on your show, and I was like, yes.
But if the election were held today, I believe that Donald Trump would win beyond that 5 to 10% margin.
So here's why I love that show in particular, and your argument against it is, or for it, rather, is I watched the rallies because I'm somebody that pays attention to rallies, what's going on in America, and at least tries to keep my finger on the pulse of what's happening. I watched that rally in New Jersey, which was fucking wild and out of control, and there was 100,000 people there. And then there was one in the Bronx over the weekend, and it was estimated that there was potentially 126,000 people there.
I've seen estimates ranging from 35 to 180,000.
I know. It's been all over the board.
Thousands of people were in the Bronx to see Donald Trump, and they were from the Bronx.
And it was 48 hours of it trending #1 on Twitter. Yes. And the interesting part about his rallies, have you been?
No, I've never been to a Trump rally, believe it or not.
It's like going to a fucking Morgan Wallen concert. It's a blast. It's everybody's partying, everybody's friendly. There's never anybody arrested, and like you're just everybody's. It's a sweet hang.
Yeah,
it's like you're seeing your favorite musician.
So not exactly like a Morgan Wallen event.
No, that's a blast. He might throw a chair at you, but that's Morgan's fault. Yeah. Same with Trump. He might throw a fucking hat at your face. Remember when he hit Kirill with one? In the face, which is awesome. But with that enthusiasm that I'm seeing right now is what I view is going to happen in this election, and why it is too big to rig at this point. I just think there's going to be too many people that come out. I was shocked to see that in the Bronx. And this is somebody who's lived in New York. I don't even know how the fuck you get out there. Like that many people out to the Bronx.
Right, because it's got to be just a logistics nightmare.
Yes. So like even if you're taking trains or cabs or Ubers it's too much. So you would have to walk there by foot essentially to get anywhere near there. I looked at the people that couldn't get in.
When there's a Yankees game and that's 40,000, right? It's a fucking nightmare moving around over there.
Nightmare,
10 times that much. Like, how the fuck does that work?
Nightmare.
Yeah,
I'd be interested to see the furthest someone walked to get there. That would be an interesting to like find out who that guy was.
It's probably Forrest Gump.
Well, yeah, he was there.
Yep.
He was running. He was out there. He was out there for a little bit. But as I'm watching this unfold in the Bronx and looking at all these people, I was like, man, New York is pretty fucking blue. Right. Jersey's pretty fucking blue.
There were a lot of people on the ground too that were interviewing people, and it was locals, all different ethnicities. And if you look back 2016 at Trump rallies, I mean, there was definitely a disproportionate amount of people of a very specific demographic. It was a lot of white guys, early on 2016. But to see the Bronx thing, it was like, all right, all of America is here and represented.
And they weren't white.
And they weren't white.
And by the way, it wasn't just the independent conservative media people interviewing black and brown people.
Right.
It was like CNN and MSNBC was like, hey, what are you guys doing?
Anderson Cooper looked pissed off.
Yeah, they were not psyched about it.
Well, when they cut back to the desk, because I was watching on television that night, when they cut back to the desk and they were live, I think one of the anchors for CNN was just like, man, if you're a Democrat, you definitely don't want to see this right now, that there's this many people here for him.
Yes, that was to Anderson Cooper. By the way, is he 18% straight?
Yes.
That's a fair question.
Yeah.
It's a fair question.
I could see him fucking somebody like
Rosie O'Donnell.
No, not a Rosie O'Donnell, but somebody who's kind of in the middle, like a Keira Knightley. Where you're like,
or modern Kristen Stewart, maybe.
Yes. Oh. Yeah, like
she's
a Case Stew.
She's mid-transition right now. So.
She looks like Robert Pattinson right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not good.
She's switching Twilight characters.
It's kind of single white female, isn't it? But
yeah,
she's just stealing his identity.
Doesn't she have a mullet too?
She does.
Yeah, they were at some award show recently, and he's with his beautiful fucking girlfriend, and she's just standing over there like a bridge troll. It's like, oh, you made good decisions.
Wow.
Congratulations. By the way, she's the one that cheated on him with a producer back in the day. It wasn't like you think.
Yeah, the director. I caught him in the fucking driveway. And I was just like, all right,
in the driveway, in the car.
Yeah,
so
a lot of places.
Yeah. Well,
washer and dryer.
Yeah.
I hardly know her.
Yeah, exactly. But as you're seeing this unfold, do you think the number is going to be so much that it's going to be like, all right, 12%, 14%, where this election just couldn't be stolen at that point?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think the real number is he's going to win by 2/3 of the vote. That's what I think the actual true number is. Now, what we're going to see in terms of popular vote tallies after November 5th, it's going to look very close, I think.
Because of mail-ins?
Well, I don't know. I don't know the specifics of how they're going to cheat, whether it's mail-ins, whether it's harvesting, whether it's Dominion voting machines. God, I don't want to say that. You guys are going to get sued. I don't know. I think they cheat. I think they cheat a little bit in many different ways. and it accumulates into the shift to 5 to 10%. So I would say that he'll probably win by a slim margin of the popular vote, as is officially tallied and counted. He'll probably win by a substantial number of electoral college votes, but the real number is I believe that close to 2 out of 3 Americans are going to vote for Donald Trump.
Well, so there's also some non-cheating things that are going on right now. I think people, by and large, can tell that this trial is bullshit.
Yes.
And now they've heard over the weekend that the judge seems like he's going to try to convict him no matter what the jury says, which is not really how
they're doing 4 hours of closing arguments today.
Yeah.
It's 4.5 hours.
Not how any of this works. But then there's also the Libertarian National Committee that had their fucking event this weekend, and the based on the polling that I've seen, and we're talking about maybe 30 or 40,000 people, which is a good chunk of libertarians. Most of them, when this guy, the dude that they nominated for their presidential candidate, Chase Oliver, is a fucking let's not cut kids' dicks off, but it's okay to give them hormones. I support the what do you call it?
He was wearing masks
the
all
drag
time.
queen story hour. He supported Trump getting banned from Twitter, like not exactly libertarian, right? Mm-hmm. This is the leftist version of libertarianism that's taken over that party again, which is what happened before and made them completely irrelevant. Yep. And the exit polling.
Did he support drag queen story hour or not?
He's explicitly says he supports drag queen story hour. Yes.
So not like making laws about it.
No, he specifically said he supports it. There's nothing wrong with it. There's text. I think there's a text chain from him on my fucking Twitter actually from a couple days ago. But at any rate, the polling done by the biggest libertarian media apparatus after that suggested about 70% of those people are now going to vote for Trump.
Yeah.
Maybe 8% at the high end, 3% at the low end, 8% at the high end for RFK, right? So on the other hand of that, we've seen polling that suggests that RFK is stealing votes not from Trump, but from Biden, right?
I hope that's true.
It's primarily center-left people who don't want to deal with his bullshit anymore.
It seems like it is, just based on everything that's going on.
There's a lot of people that stopped supporting Trump, though, because the warp speed stuff and the vaccine stuff, and he's refused to come out and say that there's problems.
And the bump stock ban, which they're going to rule on that. So here's an update on that from Gary and Michael Cargill. The Supreme Court justice assigned to write the majority opinion for it is a pro-gun person. So that the bump stock ban is over. That's over, right?
Right.
And June 15th or something like that, I think they're going to drop that opinion.
You guys should do your show from Mandalay Bay to celebrate.
Oh, man, that'd be great.
That's
the 27th floor?
What a troll.
33rd floor.
What a troll.
Was it 33?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, yeah.
33.
Yeah, I've got some
I know
bags.
that because of
Just go to the bellhop,
right?
Yeah.
We should definitely do that.
Just drop off some bags at the bellhop. I've got 40 bucks. Can you bring these up?
This is all podcast equipment.
Yeah, that's all it is. Here's a 5 spot.
They ask. I go there for a couple of conferences a year, and I always have Pelican cases full of camera equipment and guns, but that's not their business. But they always ask, like, "Hey, is that guns in that case?" I'm like, Nope. And
Well, they can't look.
They ask every single time now.
oh yeah, they ask
for
every
real.
single time now.
I wasn't kidding. So like they'll ask
Not
every
just
time.
at Mandalay, but all the hotels.
Just
all the
spray paint
hotels.
spray paint all your Pelican cases hot pink.
I watched the footage.
Or just put trans flags on them. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're good.
Although
Well, then you're
trans,
probably a mass shooter.
that's true. Yeah, trans do all the mass shootings now.
I watched the footage of it. And nobody asked them. They just loaded up the carts.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
I think that was a gun deal
endless
gone
bags.
wrong. I think it was a Saudi gun deal gone wrong.
A lot of people believe that.
I do too. It's such a weird story.
It seemed like there were multiple shooters. I mean, you know more about this stuff than I would with your background in the military. It could be weird echoes and stuff, but when I look back on cell phone footage and what people were reporting that they heard, it seems like there was like several people shooting.
I got it completely wrong on my end, so I don't know.
There were like 14 bags of guns, and he only fired, I think, 3 or 4 of them. Which, like, who brings? Look, overkill's fine, right? Overkill's fine. If I had 10 bags of ammo and 4 bags of guns, that would make sense. But 14 bags of guns, that makes no sense. That's a gun deal, right?
It's what it appears to be.
So I'm not sure what precipitated.
Well, and if it was a CIA-related gun deal, then they would.
They would
make
never
it look like they weren't involved.
They would never force feed someone LSD for years.
He was force-fed LSD.
No, I'm talking about MK Ultra, right?
Yeah,
that's what Kaczynski was 16 at fucking Harvard, and they were just
100%.
dosing his ass up for 4 fucking years until he went to Michigan.
He was a Michigan man. He got great at it. You know, he got great at building bombs.
Blue, go blue.
Wrote a great book. Industrial Society, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
It's good stuff. Big inspiration for this one. Right?
Sure is, dude.
See,
You
these maniacs are always right about the problem and they're wrong about the solution.
Yeah.
It's like Hitler was right about so many of the problems in Germany, and then he's like, but then kill all the Jews. It's like, whoa, the solution's a little off.
Whoa. Sorry. What? So I got A and C, but what the fuck is B?
Yeah, what happened here?
Right.
I don't understand.
It's like the amphetamine was working all the way through Poland, and then just something,
Something
sideways. You thought Russia was the same.
A lot of people are comparing your book to a sequel of Anne Frank. They're saying if there was a sequel to that diary.
Yeah, did you write that from an attic?
Yeah, I wrote it from an attic. There are no little girls in this, much different than Joe Biden's shower. But yeah, no, it's if you liked the Diary of Anne Frank, you're gonna love the.
You're gonna love this book.
I'm gonna
pop it up on cut to his angle. There you go. Pop that up on screen right there.
There you go.
I'm gonna
You're
go
gonna
to
hear first. If you loved the Diary of Anne Frank, you're gonna love.
I'm gonna
this
go to
book.
your-
It's basically a sequel.
I'm gonna go to your Amazon and leave that review
Yeah,
Do it.
right
Oh,
now.
please, it'd be the best.
I'm gonna buy it and leave that review right now.
So, you think Trump's gonna win? I do
Yeah,
as
I
well.
think so.
I get it wrong in 2020, but I
I got it wrong in 2016. I thought he was gonna lose.
Oh, I got that right.
How'd you know?
I went to the rallies. So, dead serious, man. And this will go back to what we were talking about earlier when the show got big. We did the episode about 100 with the sex, the real sex and all that shit. And then episode 101 was the day before the election, and we did this election pre-prediction show. And I called every state except for one. And Pennsylvania was the only state I got wrong in that. And that exploded. So it was more than just like a dick and ball show.
Yeah.
Of like, hey, these guys actually might be smart.
They might know
and some
some of
other
this shit.
things. And both of them clicked at the right time, and then it kind of took off from there. But we got invited to everything, and same with 2020 up until COVID happened, obviously. But we usually get the invite for these things, and I always went. I was always one of those people my entire life who wanted to see what the candidates were in real life, both sides. I didn't care which side.
Sure.
Even Gary Johnson, we covered that during that.
What is Aleppo?
Yep. When we sent Jared, our dumb co-host there, because they were perfect together, I think, for that. And ended up hanging out at Gary's, and we were like, what's the story? And I was like, he's a fucking moron. But
Yeah, I heard that he smokes a lot of weed. That's what I heard about him. Which, he's a libertarian, which is fine, but
For sure. But I'll go back to 2000. So that's kind of where my first instance with this was, with elections and what's going on and rallies and all that other stuff. And with Bush, it felt like he had it and it was in the bag and everything else, and people were coming out and they were excited about it. You were just coming off of Clinton getting his dick sucked, which
Right.
I still didn't think he should be impeached for.
no.
But
Well, technically, he was impeached for lying about it.
right. But either way,
Better blowjobs
I
than no jobs.
Don't even fucking bring that case.
Right.
It was clearly just to
By
drag
the
him
way,
under and win an
Does
election.
anybody actually believe that it just stopped at a blowjob? I mean, everybody knows they had sex, right?
Well, I believe that he didn't inhale.
Right. He
And
smoked and didn't inhale, and
Yeah.
he's like just the tip.
Yeah.
Everything was half-assed, bro.
Yeah. But I think with 2000, as we're getting into it,
Yeah.
it came down to the hanging chads in Florida and all that other
that
shit.
bizarre shit in the Supreme Court ruling.
Which, if you're going back to real election interference and all that other
There was
stuff,
some weird shit. Give me Roger Stone.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Who knows the answer to that one for real?
Right.
Who knows? But the energy felt there. The energy felt there.
Were you in Texas at the time or New York?
I was here. I was in
Okay.
Austin, Texas that night.
Right. And Bush is a big Texas guy, obviously, so the
He,
vibe would
well,
be strong here.
he was governor.
Right.
So it was right downtown. And oddly enough, I was shooting a film here. And it was me and Tony Hawk. So it was just the two of us out for the night.
Yeah.
And no one looked at him. Nobody said one word to him. And it got later on in the evening. And I was like, man, I hate to say this, man, but I thought you were really fucking famous. And he goes,
the
no, I'm
election.
just Tony Hawk, And it was like, but what I noticed.
PlayStation 2 graphics suck, bro. Nobody knows what I actually look like.
I mean, everybody was playing Tony Hawk at that point. But what it was, in all sincerity, because we were laughing about it,
Yeah.
was everybody's eyes were glued up at the televisions and the bars and restaurants, all the way down 6th Street. Nobody knew it was going to happen, and everybody was waiting for this party to erupt. That didn't happen. It never came because
Yeah.
it went in. What was it? 2 months
It was a while.
until they decided who that was. But I thought the energy felt like Bush. And then as it carried on, I went to Obama's thing in L.A., one of his first rallies, and it was packed. The energy felt like Obama, and I thought that was a no-brainer to me.
I hated Obama when he was president, but I felt like he was so good at making even me feel like everything was going to be okay.
Yes.
You know, I was like, affordable care, fuck this. But the way he talked about it, I was like, oh, it'll be all right.
And the way but
he was just good at that shit.
But it was also like a Trump rally where there was an overflow of crowd.
Right.
It was 40,000 people every one of these goddamn things.
Right.
And
Change
when
you
he got up
believe
to
in.
speak, and he was like, oh, great to see you. This is gonna be great. I'm gonna make everything great. Everything's gonna be fine. And you're like, all right, cool. I believe in this. And then you had this shitbag candidate McCain on the other side.
Terrible.
Who had
my
a
friends.
Oh my God,
my
dude.
friends. Not to make fun of veterans, sorry.
No,
but, I mean,
fuck
it was
him.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
He kept
Dan
saying
hates
my
him.
friends.
Now you don't get to fucking play that veteran card when you're trying to send people to die for your bullshit.
And when you're
fucking
giving
war,
away secrets in
military
Vietnam after you
industrial
crash.
complex.
Yeah. But with that, when you were looking at the two of those candidates, because I went to a McCain thing too, God damn it. I mean, it was like sitting with your grandpa.
It was
on
all
the back
old people
porch,
and
man.
his stuff.
Yeah.
No young people showed up to any
It was
of those
very
things.
much a gerontocracy.
Yeah, you can go look at the on YouTube of his rallies and town halls and stuff, and it's all elderly people. There's not one with young people at it.
Nothing.
Like I don't know why they thought
That
he had
Olive
any
Garden
chance.
was packed.
Yeah.
Unlimited breadsticks.
It was actually a Cracker Barrel. I think.
Cracker Barrel, probably.
Yeah.
They were still playing the golf tee game.
The Olive Garden crowd is a little too young for him.
It is. It is. We were just there.
I haven't been
Lovely
in an Olive
time.
Garden in years, but people bash it. I'll
It
eat an
was
Olive
great.
Garden, no
It
problem.
was fucking great, dude.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Did you get chicken Alfredo?
I served 4 tours of Italy there, dude. I worked there. Yeah. And I still like it. If you've worked at a place and then you eat there afterwards and you still
That's a
like
good
the
sign.
food,
That's a good sign.
It is a good sign.
I had a buddy that was
It's-
a bartender there. He made a lot of tips.
You say a good sign. It's also a sign that you're an irredeemable piece of white trash.
Yes.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
in the basket.
Because those are basically like Hungry Man dinners that are microwaved back in the back and then brought to you.
And I'll never change.
Is
I
it
know,
bottomless
never changed.
breadsticks? Is that the deal there?
Yeah, well,
There's a limit.
there is a limit. It's jail. They're going to take you, they're going to haul you off at the end
The
of it.
FBI shows up like, sir, excuse me, you've had too many breadsticks.
We're going to haul you
How
off
many breadsticks
here.
have you had tonight?
Yeah.
The drive home.
You
Yeah.
gotta blow into this little device. Like,
So you
come on,
go
it's-
full Alex Jones.
It's shaped like a breadstick.
I've only had 186. I don't know how many.
150 breadsticks.
His
by
like
the time I
fucking
was
face
16.
is all swollen up from the sodium. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Oh God, I had too many breadsticks. But then go to 2012.
Yeah.
Obama's running again. He's running against the most boring man on the
Romney,
planet.
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Stormin' Mormon.
That was an easy one for me.
As
I
if
was
that
like,
wasn't
all right.
intentional by the Repubes, by the way. The Uniparty obviously put Romney
he's
up.
so vanilla.
Like, there's no
Even now
way.
he's talking shit about Trump.
Yeah.
At the
Yes.
trials, he's like, it's so embarrassing that Republicans went to support the person being politically persecuted.
Yeah.
Like, you fucking asshole. Get the fuck out of here.
And he says he's going to vote for Biden.
oh, man.
Romney said he's going to vote
I tell
for
you
Biden.
what, I challenge Mitt Romney to a lawful duel under Texas Penal Code 22.06. Come here so I can slap you silly to the lawful extent.
Mutual
Yeah.
combat, bitch.
Yeah, mutual combat. Come
It's
here. And
legal
Harry J.
here.
Sisson,
It's
too.
legal Montana,
And Joe
Idaho,
Biden.
Wyoming, and a weird state. I think Oregon, actually. Mutual combat's still a law.
Hell yeah.
I offered it to
just can't kill
that pool guy, and he said no. Oh, yeah, that's the true story. I laid the checkbook down, too. I said, hey, you can double the money you're asking
Bro,
for.
I know you don't got a checkbook. You were just
Fucking
writing about
liar,
checks.
dude. Well, that was 5 years ago, so now they're all gone. They're all fucking gone now at this point. But then you hit 2016.
Yes.
Went to all of them. Hillary, she had, remember she passed out at 9/11? We were supposed to go to the gig afterwards.
Yeah.
Epilepsy.
Like walking to the car or whatever?
Yeah, walking to the van.
So she had epilepsy.
She's always dressed like Chairman Mao.
Right. She had epilepsy. They canceled her, and then they sent Bill in his place. So we went down to meet Bill Clinton, and there was like 130 people there. And I was like, and then Trump came into town, and we got sent to meet Trump, and it was fucking, just packed, crazy.
Well, even for Biden, they had to like bring Beyonce out to open for him.
Right.
So anybody would even show up.
Yeah. And so I think you're at that same place now, looking at these rallies that are going on. 2020 is a wash because nobody did anything. You know, I think Trump tried to do some rallies.
Yeah, it was all screwed up.
Yes.
And
You were at the height of COVID.
And the thing is, too, like I believe that the 2020 election was stolen, but I do believe that a lot of people voted for Joe Biden, not because they voted for Joe Biden, but because the pandemic was so bad that people went in and just said something different, anything else. Like, I think a lot of people voted against Trump because they falsely attributed everything that sucked about 2020 to his leadership.
Maybe, and they were home. So like when you got a ballot at home and you were like,
Right.
what
and
am I
if you
doing
lived
today?
in 3 or 4 states and you get 3 or 4 ballots at your house, you fill them all out.
I got 2.
I got a Tennessee ballot. I got a California ballot.
Yep.
I got an Illinois ballot.
Yep. I got a North Carolina one. I got a Texas one, and I got.
And I obeyed the law, but of course, most people don't, I guess.
Well, if it's that easy, you can just do it. So
Yeah.
you're like, well, fuck.
Well,
it,
when
I'll
you're a star,
check
they
this.
let you do it.
Yeah, you sure do.
You mean
Grab him by the
Beyonce?
pussy.
But unless you're Tony Hawk, you're not famous enough.
No, you're not. On election night.
I'm Tony Hawk. I'm Tony Hawk. Don't scream.
I know. Only on election night. But for this one, it feels like a no-brainer where you're watching what's happening on television.
He's got a mugshot, bro. You got to vote for him. It's iconic.
I don't see it happening. I mean, to the point where, I don't know if you know this, but live going on right now. So is Robert De Niro just ran out of there. He just got chased out of there. There's footage of it, Bob, if you want to pull it up on Twitter. Yeah. So the trial's going on that you just mentioned.
Robert De Niro showed up and did a little press conference.
He did a presser. People started booing. A car alarm went off.
The boos were so loud that it caused enough vibration to start a car alarm?
Yes, and then they had to rush him out of there. Now, we're live, so I haven't been able to see this footage, but if you have it, Bob, pull it up.
I bookmarked it on my Twitter account.
Oh, go to that.
I mean, he's yelling at some lady in a MAGA hat right here. I've seen this video.
I haven't seen it.
I also challenged him to a duel.
Yeah, well, it'd be about 10 seconds.
You are gangsters. You're washed up.
He said something to the effect of, if Trump wins, then the country's going to end. Mm-hmm. It's like, he was...
said the government would
The government,
shut down.
that he was already president once, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
And it didn't happen. So it's like, you can say that if it's the first time a guy's running, but it's hard to say it now.
In today's political climate, it's crazy that Robert De Niro, old-ass Robert De Niro, got out there and said, you know what? People want to hear from me, and I'm going to go make a speech at the courthouse.
Just because you're good at one thing doesn't mean you're good at everything.
I know.
And all these Hollywood people. And the problem is that the audience, the average American, a lot of them think that the actor they're seeing is the character that they portray. Yeah. So they look at Robert De Niro and they think that he's the guy from Godfather Part 2. They're like, that guy's kind of a badass. It's like, no, he's a stupid actor that did a great job in that movie. He doesn't know shit about anything else. What the fuck?
It's wild that he showed up down there. They're in closing arguments now. I wanted to ask you this. What is this case about? Like, I've watched it.
Hush money stuff?
I've watched it.
Yeah.
What is the actual charge? Because he didn't do anything. Like Trump himself.
I don't understand it either. I think they're trying to say that I think, I could be wrong about this because it doesn't make any sense, like you said. I think they're trying to say that he used, maybe, was it campaign money to pay his lawyer to pay hush money to Stormy Daniels, and that would be a violation of campaign
violation
law.
Yes.
I think that might be it.
Yeah, but that Hillary got popped for that too, and she paid a $200 fine.
Right.
Everybody's been popped.
Right.
Like,
She didn't have to
what if
spend.
that's what happens to this? He's got to pay $200.
After millions of dollars in legal fees, I
They
think
adjust it for inflation. It's like $10,000.
So Alvin Bragg's got to lose his job. That's the first thing, right? No matter what the end of this is, because he took this case to grand jury with a witness who lied.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Repeatedly.
Your key witness, literally everything he said was untrue. So he's got to he's got to be out of there, right?
Yes.
I mean, he's district attorney is fucking elected, so whatever, right? But like, there's no way that that New York City votes for that guy again, right?
Well, I just feel like
Because like, whomever runs against him, it's going to be a liberal because you can't win as a Republican up there. All they have to say is, like, this dude wasted so much money going after Trump, and he didn't even win. Not only is he stupid, but he's also incompetent.
But was that the game plan all the way, like all along? Is, hey,
but that's
let's
what's
just
so
make him
stupid
so
about
he
it.
can't rally, so we can't do anything.
They say
so
the
we
left
can't
meme, like they don't understand the optics of this. Like what they're really saying is Donald Trump fucked a porn star and had to pay her not to brag about it. So I'm not supposed to vote for him?
Yeah.
Like everyone's like, that's kind of badass. Like, when she was hot too, like 20 or 30 years
Clinton
ago.
was getting his dick sucked. I was like, well, I get it. Look who he's married
like,
to.
you're going after him for that shit? The coolest shit he ever did?
Well,
what the fuck?
And this is maybe it's myopia, maybe it's just tunnel vision, maybe they're just stupid.
Shout out to Dan Crenshaw.
He's the guy. He's got the most myopia and tunnel vision, probably, of anybody I know.
Exactly.
At any rate,
I Patch McCain.
It didn't work to publish him saying, I'm going to grab women by the pussy, and they really think this is going to be the one that takes him down.
So stupid.
Sorry, man. I mean, that's just not going to happen.
There was nothing we didn't know about before the last election, so it's old news already.
It is, but now you're in the middle of it. So they're in closing arguments right now. This is going on live, so I'm just kind of scrolling through it.
They said they were going to do 4 hours.
4 hours.
Boring.
His lawyer, by the way, is a fucking gangster. Jesus Christ, man. It must be great to be that
He
rich.
always had good lawyers.
Man. Do you think he'll get convicted for this?
Well, I heard a report that Secret Service was speaking with local police about the logistics of taking him
Right now, they said they're prepping the jail. I'm reading that right now.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's just precautionary or if they have a tip and that's why they're doing it.
Man, I feel like there's
But it hasn't gone to jury yet.
I feel like there's going to be
it's
some.
rigged.
I feel like there's going to be some violence if that happens.
It's a criminal case, right? So it doesn't need to be preponderance of evidence. It needs to be.
It's got to be
a
12
reasonable
people
doubt.
have to vote. Yes.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to be okay.
Well, there's 2 lawyers on the jury. One would think they would be in there and be like,
Oh
"Hey
shit,
guys."
maybe he is fucked.
Well, but
Terrible
one of
people.
those lawyers has got to be like, "Hey guys,
I'm like
this
80%.
isn't even a real case."
80% he's going to be okay. But I could be wrong about this. Is one of those things where I really know that I could definitely be wrong. Like,
Well,
it could go either way.
Let's go through it. So, if he's not convicted,
Right.
what happens to the rest of those people and everything else? Because the other 3 trials are pushed.
Maybe you could countersue in civil court for the false allegations and shit, and they can go after like all the media outlets that lied about him. And
Not
shit.
just that, but like this judge is at risk of getting disbarred, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because you've seen the
Who disbars a judge? Is it like the attorney general?
the attorney general would start the proceedings
Of
yeah.
the U.S.?
and then the bar. Then the bar.
Letitia James won't do
Then the
it.
bar. Well, I mean, like the bar association can withdraw anybody's accreditation at any time. Right?
Okay.
After an investigation, obviously, but so he.
They did that to Clinton in Arkansas.
Yeah, they did it to Clinton in Arkansas. They might do it to the guy who presided over Weinstein's trial in New York as well, because that was he botched the fuck out. He let all this procedural nonsense happen that should not have happened. I think it might. I think there's at least some risk of this guy of it happening to him as well because of jury selection specifically, right? So they did some, I guess you could call it exit polling on the jury members, not on the jury members, but on the jury questions, and every jury member was asked if they followed Trump on social media. Not one of them was asked if they followed Cohen or Biden or anybody on the
Double
left,
standard.
right? So that's just one example, but there's a half dozen or so of these violations the guy did. I'm surprised they haven't called for a mistrial right now, to be honest, and then tried to send it up to whatever the Third Circuit or something like that.
Well, the Trump team did. They tried to get a mistrial going, and they allegedly it was thrown out. If he
gets some kind of summary judgment from the judge here, I think there's going to be violence, like real violence.
yes. So let's say they say you're guilty. New York is a little different, where you could sentence them. Then you could wait a while. Typically, it's a waiting process, but you could sentence him right then.
You think the judge might wait till after the election?
No, not one fucking prayer. He's a hardcore Democrat, and so is his kid.
What's
Who's
the maximum
kid?
sentence?
His kid's making millions of dollars as a consultant, his daughter, for Democrats.
Yeah, for the Dems.
I think it's 45 years is the maximum sentence.
I don't want there to be violence, but I do hope he gets convicted and sentenced because he will win in the biggest landslide in American history, probably, right?
Oh, as president of the United States, yes. But does that even weigh into this? Like,
So do you think that if he's acquitted, there would be violence from the left? Or do you think that if he's convicted, there'll be violence from the right?
There's going to be violence from the left no matter what happens, right? Because they're intrinsically violent people. You know what I mean?
It seems to me like the Second Amendment was put in place for instances of somebody getting convicted for bullshit like this if they're the most popular candidate. Like, it seems to me that the Founding Fathers, if not long ago, would have taken up arms over a conviction like this.
yeah, I mean,
Well, they did, though. Like, this is so... what do you call it? The Boston Massacre is really, at its core, one of the primary things that precipitated the Continental Congress voting on the Declaration of Independence, right? Because the Boston Massacre happens. John Adams represents all these men, these British troops in court, and gets them off. And then some days, I think like 25 days after that, King George says, sorry, but we're going to have any kind of crime involving a British soldier over there now is going to be brought back to England for trial instead of there, right? So that, and then that's what got Samuel and John Adams directly involved in the independence movement, and it was all
I'm
everything.
I'm gonna personally start having some rowdy thoughts if there's a conviction. I'm not
I think a
gonna
lot
say
of
anything
people are.
illegal, but I'm gonna have rowdy thoughts.
I think a lot of people will. I just can't imagine it. Like, I honestly can't imagine a world in which he's found guilty.
Yeah.
I think there'll be at least one holdout. I think there'll be a hung jury at the end of the day. But if it's a not guilty, and then the other 3 trials are pushed, and then you put them all through this entire shit, that this is, I mean, this has been going on for close to a year now. All these trials are kind of trials back and forth.
Either acquittal, a hung jury, or a hanged jury.
Yeah.
You know.
But if you're
Those
on
are the 3 options I'm going for, right?
If you're on the jury, are you worried about that? I would be.
Well, the people in Minneapolis were in the Derek Chauvin trial for sure because there were Antifa rioters right outside of the fucking federal courthouse.
That's intimidation, 100%.
You know what I mean? Like that's the craziest shit I've ever seen.
What do you guys think about the Derek Chauvin shit? I mean, like, look, I'm just a layman civilian. I think that George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose. But watching that 9-minute video, like,
I think he should have
it's
been
hard to watch.
I think he should have been fired for sure, and maybe charged criminally, not for murder. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
like the whole
manslaughter,
time
like that.
the whole time that trial was going on, what I was saying was, and this is based on just fucking basic human intelligence, is that you overcharge, like second-degree murder for that.
Yeah,
No, I'm
then
sorry.
they can plead down.
That does not in any way meet the criteria for second-degree murder, right?
Because it's premeditated.
Well,
So
that's first-degree murder. Right?
yeah, well, and that's what they went for.
Yeah, but like second-degree murder, no. I mean, involuntary manslaughter or negligent homicide, maybe something like that, which would probably get you maybe a 3 to 5 year sentence. You would serve 18 months and be out and on your way. Not a fucking life-runing sentence, right?
He's getting stabbed and shit in prison, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he did.
He did.
Got beat up and stabbed.
46 times. He lived.
He's tougher than Julius Caesar.
I know. He lived.
Wait, Julius Caesar got stabbed.
Was it 47?
How many times, Bob? Look it up.
Yeah, we got to fact check this.
Do we know?
I thought it was in the 50s.
It was the Brute one that
23 times.
23.
Oh, shit. So he's doubly.
Yeah.
Derek Chauvin, you heard it here first.
Wow, he's twice as tough.
Double
as
the
Julius
man.
Caesar.
It's Julius Caesar.
Caesar squared, dude. He's Caesar squared. So you heard it here first. No, because I'm with you on that. I also saw the other angle of it from behind that none of us got to see until after the trial for some reason. It appeared as if his knee was kind of in the shoulder blade area.
Yeah, it looked lower.
So depending upon which angle you saw, if you saw the one from the front, it looked like it was on his neck.
But
if you saw it from behind, it looked like it was on his back. So I don't know, but I'm in the same world as Dan. I think involuntary, at least probably like 18 months and then out of there.
Imagine thinking someone is being murdered right in front of you, and instead of interfering, you're filming it.
Oh, all right.
Like there's
Charge
people
those
just stand
people.
there, like they're like,
Charge
like,
those people.
Why? Like if you really believed he was murdering the guy, don't you think you might have like shoved him off? Like
Charge
and
those
then
people.
Cuffed yourself,
Yeah.
and then game over.
It's weird.
It is.
To be
really
honest.
bizarre, dude.
Like my general advice for people who are dealing with cops, if you don't like them or whatever, is tell them you're going to film everything and film it.
Yeah.
Either nothing happens or you get rich.
Mm-hmm.
Those are your two options. But resisting, it's bad shit's going to happen from that.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Every
It
single
doesn't
time.
make any sense to do that.
In the chat here, Bob Saget's bathtub. Oh boy.
Oh Jesus!
Great
Christ.
username.
thought he fell in the
Says
shower.
George Floyd is 4 years sober today. So
Yeah. Wow, congratulations.
Well, it was over the weekend, so everybody, every leftist in Congress, including the president, used Memorial Day to say 4 years ago George Floyd was murdered,
Yeah.
and we're going to honor.
He changed
his,
America.
We're going to honor his memory. Like, how would you honor his memory exactly? Holding a gun to a pregnant woman's stomach? Because that's what I did. I don't know what you got. And I did. I took a lot of fentanyl. And I robbed a woman with a gun to her stomach.
and
her
then
pregnant
you
stomach.
tried to pass off a $20 fake bill somewhere too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do that
you
all
did
the
that.
time, though.
Yeah, you
That's
did that.
That's. I don't want to take credit for that.
Well, you know, there's a movie coming out.
There's a George Floyd movie.
Yeah, they
coming
just
out.
sold it. It's called Daddy Changed the World, and I'm not kidding.
That's really what they're calling it.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought that was Ashley Biden's autobiography.
No. Daddy Changed the World. So that's real, and that's coming out.
Who's playing him? Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. I think it's Jonathan Lipnicki, the kid from Jerry Maguire.
Jonathan Majors.
They're having the chick from Romeo and Juliet play him.
Oh, God, that'd be great, dude. Or just like Laverne Cox. Just go trans, like a black trans. Where you're like, all right, cool, man.
I mean, Jonathan Majors doesn't look unlike him, I guess. But
Be a great choice.
but he's canceled now, and maybe that's how he gets back in.
What if it was Barack Obama?
Oh, boy. They're producing shit.
Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
Big Mike.
I
Starring
can't breathe.
role, bro.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I'm sorry, I can't breathe. And then that's it. That'd be great.
The credits take my breath away.
Exactly. I'm watching.
man,
I'm watching Netflix the other night. They're producers now. They're producing the new show that I was watching with Will Forte.
The
and I was
Obamas?
like, yes. I was like,
They just throw money at it and get residuals?
Yeah,
Is that,
pretty
that's
much,
the
yeah.
deal? Wow.
yeah.
They lend their name and get residuals. Yeah. Speaking of that, Thursday we're doing fake news on YouTube. We haven't done memes in over a week,
Oh,
and
boy.
I've got a bunch.
You want to go hard on YouTube?
We might.
All right. I'm down. Who cares?
We might.
We get, 4 subscribers here? We make about $40 a month off YouTube. So
That's
we
great.
just
Yeah,
don't really
YouTube
care.
is become impossible. For
It's the
good
worst.
content.
Well, and that's what I wanted to ask you about too. Working over at InfoWars, you guys are now back on Twitter. Not only that, your live numbers are fucking insane over there for all your shows. How much has that helped you guys and your audience over there?
So I don't have access to the specific numbers. I believe the publicly available numbers, which I would be allowed to disclose, are that we sell about $100,000 worth of supplements every day.
Holy shit.
I believe those are the publicly available numbers.
And you guys are on Monday through Friday as well?
Yeah, Monday through Friday, sometimes on Saturday. And if we usually do new sales on Wednesdays, and sometimes those days can get up close to $300,000.
God.
So that was
damn.
before we got back on X. I don't have access to any of the real numbers, the raw numbers. The numbers that I just suggested to you are from like court filings and shit that I've read, so it's publicly available. So I'm under an NDA, of course, so I have to be careful what I say.
Yeah.
But there has been an astronomical shift in the size of our audience, and there's little ways in which it's obvious. There was a time period where we never had a problem getting callers live on the show, but we'd have a lot of repeat callers, like, diehards.
Yeah.
Now, every day, it's like, first time caller, I just started listening a couple of weeks ago. I just started listening a month. So it's explosive. I think our broadcasts range from 100,000 to 500,000 views every day on X, and that doesn't count the segments that we upload later on top of that. Jones has reached, in a 7-day period, a couple of weeks ago, he reached 108 million people. On just his personal Twitter account, not counting the InfoWars account. So it has certainly shifted everything. If he were to, and I can't give you the exact numbers, but if everything were to get shut down now, he would be able to make a very comfortable living just posting on Twitter with just the Twitter revenue share that they have.
And I like that because there needs to be outlets for everybody to get at whatever your voice is. And same with Democrat. I don't care if you're fucking Democrat or whatever. There should be outlets for you to go out and make money off of it and get it out there.
Yes.
Because for years, I mean, obviously, he was under it. He was banned from YouTube. Even on this show, they came back and ripped down one of our Alex Jones episodes 2 years later.
I got permission proactively to upload a conversation I had with Alex Jones on YouTube, and then an hour later they took it down. And I was like, in writing, you said I could upload it. And they're like, sorry, fuck you, bye.
Our account was flagged for 2.5 years.
Yep.
Having him on.
Is it still?
Sorry.
No, not anymore.
I can look in the back end of it.
I don't
They
give a
finally
shit. Fuck
lifted
them.
it? Yeah.
But the best thing about it is, like, before it felt like we were preaching to the choir, even if we had hundreds of thousands or millions of listeners. Now that we're reaching new people, it feels like we're making a difference. So, like, just from a fulfillment standpoint, it's cool to reach this new audience because that's what needs to happen. New people need to wake the fuck up.
Yeah, you're right. They took the warning down.
Awesome.
It's gone.
After 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Actually, more than that because it just came down, I think, in March.
Did it auto expire, or do you think somebody
It
manually
auto
fixed
expired.
it? Okay.
Because I saw a date. There was an
gotcha.
expiration date on it.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, it was like March 18th or so. It was the day after fucking St. Patrick's Day.
And he was a guest on ours, so
Yeah.
it wasn't, vice versa or anything. It wasn't like we were posting InfoWars.
But did you do it from his studio?
We did, yeah.
Yeah, you probably got fucked.
And he goes, man, you gotta, I would take down the thing or
They have
whatever.
the
I was
logo
like,
in the
cool,
background?
we did it. No,
Yeah, he changed the
He
TVs.
changed it for us.
Yeah.
So he put Drinkin' Bros up all over it.
Yeah.
And it's cool, but they fuck with you guys a lot. And then, obviously one of your hosts over there, is he still in jail?
No, Owen's out.
No, he was out. He was in for
8 months, maybe?
No, it wasn't 8 months. It was 3 months. I think it was. I
mean,
think it was 90 days.
Maybe I'm thinking 85 days or 88 days.
It
or
was
something like that.
80 days maybe. I remember because I was a host for 2.5 or 3 months straight while he was gone. So they had Harrison, who hosts the morning show, host Owen's show in the afternoon, and I did the morning show.
Is he the only guy that
Holy
spent?
shit.
And we had his job waiting for him when he came back.
Is he the only guy?
Which is awesome. That's the way it should be.
Is he the only guy that spent time locked up that wasn't even in fucking D.C.?
He was in D.C.
Or he wasn't at the rally though, right? Wasn't he down the street
there.
or some
so
shit?
he had previously, because of a different issue, been banned from the Capitol grounds because I think he showed up to a Nadler thing and he got arrested and for bitching out Nadler in a cowboy hat. And so I believe, and I could be butchering this, but I believe he wasn't allowed to be on Capitol grounds property. So he could be in D.C., but not on the Capitol grounds. And technically he set foot on the he didn't go into the Capitol, but he set foot on the grounds.
Oh,
And they
so
got
he
him
had
on the a
trespass?
violation of
The
a
fuck
misdemeanor
outta
or something.
here.
And then they convicted him of a misdemeanor, but they put him in a federal prison. So he's like the only fucking guy that's ever been put in a federal prison in the shoe for a misdemeanor.
What was the sitch there? Did he have a celly? Or?
No,
I think he had one celly.
Yeah, but
Really?
I think for the vast majority of it, he was in solitary.
They put him
right?
in solitary for a week initially just because of the COVID procedures. And then he did a phone call that we broadcast. And because he was broadcasting from prison, they put him in the shoe again. So it wasn't pretty, man.
What did he say after he came out?
He doesn't really talk about it.
No shit.
You know, like I walked past him a couple of months ago, and I was holding like a cup of ramen. You know, and he looked at me and he said, "I didn't even eat that shit in prison." That's about the extent to what he said about me. I think he talked about it on air. You know,
that might be the manliest way.
Yeah,
that might be the manliest way you can call somebody else poor.
Yeah,
like honestly, fuck
yeah. But you know,
I love it.
I think he read the Old Testament while he was there, and like he answered a lot of letters. I wrote him a letter. He wrote me back. He spelled everything wrong, and you know, I think it was okay. It was just hard. It was a slow piece of time for him. I think really boring.
Looking back on it, did he say it was worth it? Because we've been on his show, but it's not one of those things that you text about and be like, "Hey, man, how was your experience?"
He would say that fighting for freedom of speech is worth anything. That's how he would probably frame it. I don't know that if he could go back in time, he would have like gone on the Capitol grounds that day. Like he'd probably be like, "Oh shit!" Like I don't think he knew that he was going to end up in prison for being on the Capitol grounds the day.
But to my knowledge,
I don't think he even knew he broke the law.
He didn't go in, right?
No, he didn't go in. But I don't think he knew that he was doing anything that was a violation.
I think
it was just a fucking accident.
It doesn't seem like it should be legal unless you do something violent to get banned from a fucking government place.
He like interfered, I think, with a hearing.
So who fucking cares?
Yeah, the left does
Jerry
it all the time.
Nadler is an agate with a capital F, my friend. He is the biggest piece of shit, maybe in Congress. He's actually the smallest piece of shit.
There's a lot of pieces of shits in Congress.
By
There's
stature.
A lot of them in there.
It's hard, man.
Both sides, too.
They're like the world super. Yeah, Dan Crenshaw's like a super villain.
Yeah,
I hate that guy.
So do I.
And he said it's not even that he's evil; it's that he's just an asshole about it.
Yeah.
Like at least Darth Vader was evil for good reasons. Like I want to bring my mom back from the dead. Princess Leia was hot, or Batman was hot. I want to bring her back. Like that makes sense. Like I understand. Man, that suit looks very uncomfortable. Dan Crenshaw is just like, I lost an eye, so everybody like give me your fucking vote. I don't know, man. I don't like that fucking guy at all.
Me neither.
He's like yelling at little kids about questioning his faith, and he's trying to trip reporters and shit. Did you see that? He tried to trip that reporter.
He's getting close to losing. We were following because we did a election night. Was it 22? And I was surprised. The numbers were a lot closer than they should have been.
Good.
So like,
He had his
getting
district redrawn.
Oh, he had it redrawn for his own benefit?
No, I mean it just got redrawn.
Okay.
Didn't he like outpace Nancy Pelosi in the stock trade tracker?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was top
So
five.
he's swamp shit, man.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
He said it.
He actually said, why would anybody even run for Congress if you can't get rich? Like, how are you going to get the
What a
best and
douche.
brightest people to come to Congress if they can't trade stocks? Right.
Well, he tweeted too, like after the Ukraine stuff broke out, when we funded the first round of billions of dollars or whatever, he tweeted something to the effect of, "Hey, why wouldn't we do it? It's a no-brainer. We can send all of our money over there and fight our enemy without a single American dying." But if you divide the amount of money we funded by the average amount of money that an American pays in taxes in their entire lifetime, it adds up to like thousands of American lifetimes. So even if an American isn't dying over there, like their whole fucking tax revenue from their whole fucking life by the thousands is just being poured into this conflict. Like
nuts.
It's so fucked up when you look at it like that.
I've also not had someone clearly to explain to me why Russia is our enemy. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Like I understand that.
I can explain it to you.
I don't think Putin is a good guy. I'm not a huge fan of the Russian system of government. It's it's rife. It's more corrupt than ours, which is saying something, right?
Yeah. Well, maybe.
But
we do a lot of the same shit. I mean, like, what has he done to Ukraine that we didn't do to Iraq?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I said that at the beginning of this war. At the beginning, when they first invaded Ukraine, I was like, explain to me exactly. I think I tweeted this. Explain to me exactly how what Putin is doing right now is different than what we did in Iraq or Afghanistan, frankly.
Right. Our own political class is just is corrupt. But ultimately, I think it all boils down to protecting the dollar as the global reserve currency.
I mean, it's not going to be the fucking ruble, no matter what happens.
I understand,
It'll
but
never
Russia,
be the ruble.
Iran, and China want it to be like a digital version of the yen because we sanction the fuck out of them because everything has to get converted back to dollars in order to get oil. And that's what a lot of these conflicts are about. That's what, in my opinion, the conflict in Israel is about. It's all about protecting the dollar as the global reserve currency, and that's why we're always going back over there. So they're not really our enemy. They're representing their own interests, but because our money is fake, we always have to frame these people as our enemy and get in these conflicts to protect that financial interest. Doesn't make it right. It's absolutely wrong.
Well, the good news is that both the port we built in and the $320 million we sent to Gaza are fucked now.
Yeah, the port. Yeah,
like
the pier.
All the money.
That floated up on the beach.
Yes, all the money and supplies that we sent over there, Hamas has all of it.
Yeah.
They
We
have
left all that weaponry back behind in Afghanistan.
Yeah,
and a lot of it wound up in the hands of Hamas when they attacked on October 7th, while Israel stood down for 7
But
months.
Bob, if you can pop up the picture of
fucking
that
idiots.
that
pier.
port, it's just a
It's a
pier.
pier, yeah.
It looks like the pier in Friday the 13th, where it's like,
Yeah.
all right, Jason's at the bottom
We
of the
spent
lake.
$320 million on that, right?
No,
I
not
wanna-
on that. So it's the pier is fucked up, and then $300 million in aid that we sent to include food, supplies, medicine, all this stuff. Hamas has all of it.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
All of it.
I wonder how much
Because
we
that's-
spent in dollars on D-Day. Like, that was probably more than we spent.
Yeah,
for
it's like
D-Day.
$50. It was gas and a bunch of lives. Shit.
$100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it, Bob? Is that the port?
That's
Yeah, usually ports don't float ashore.
Huh.
Or
It's
piers,
a pier,
rather.
bro.
Yeah, that's.
Or is it a port?
That's not a port. That's not a port. That's a pier. That's all that is. So that's it, Bob. It's just all washed up now, and we're kind of
Yeah,
done.
broke apart.
Yeah, just like Robert De Niro.
Yeah. Oh, nailed it. Fun day today.
Fuck that cunt. So, anyways, tell us
Yeah,
what.
the Irishman sucked. Too.
Explain. Yeah, I did. Him trying to kick that dude on the curb. I'm like, come on, man, you're 85 fucking years old. Get out of here. Explain what populism is to these mongoloids here.
Yeah, it's very simple. So traditionally, the political dynamic in America has been Republicans versus Democrats, at least for the last 100 years. And what's happening now is people are realizing that when they vote for Democrats, nothing that they need happens, or that all the promises are broken. And when they vote for Republicans, they break all the same promises too. Both parties overspend, both parties get us more into debt. They're all full of shit. Populism is simply the belief that the problem isn't Republicans versus Democrats, it's the people versus the political class. So the more the political class of any nation, especially ours right now, fails the people, the more populist the people become, because they just decide to switch sides. They're like, you know what, fuck you Democrats, or fuck you Republicans. Like fuck Speaker Johnson, fuck Nancy Pelosi. It's just as easy for me to say fuck Dan Crenshaw as it is for me to say fuck
I hate
AOC.
Mike Johnson as well.
Yeah, I hate him too. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so, like, at this point, I'm a populist. I won't even call myself a Republican. Now, 90% of the time I vote, actually, probably 99% of the time I vote for a Republican because it seems closer, like a better option. But it's not really a good fit. I'm rounding myself up to the party because I don't have another option to round to.
We call them repubes here.
Pubes.
Yeah, they both suck. And then it's not the Republican voters that suck. It's the establishment political class. So that's what populism is. That's what the book's about. And it's a call for that rise of populism as well. It's not just an observation of it.
So in,
what would be the end state then?
Yeah.
Because if there still are only two options that are controlled by what is effectively a Uniparty, then what can the average citizen even do? I guess is the
You
question.
vote for Donald Trump. Or an outsider.
That's certainly that's a good start,
Yeah,
right?
so
But that's president is the last line of defense. Like every solid object in the world is built from the base.
You're right. And I wish I could give you the correct or perfect answer to that question. It's such a complicated problem that it's impossible for me to say. I'll do my best to answer it a little bit more of a specific way, though. So ultimately what this boils down to is a foundational principle of America first, and then all of the implications of that. And you can't manifest it from the base up until you have a population that is on board with the philosophy. So what happened during the Weimar Republic was there was this hyperinflation in the 1920s, stock market crashed in 29, and the Germans were literally having to buy loaves of bread with barrels full of cash. They were using the cash as fucking wallpaper in their house, and they were burning it for kindling in the stove. It was so worthless. What happened was you have an entire collapse, and as a response to that collapse was this populist national movement, and it was really unclear whether it was going to go Marxist left, the communists, or fascist right. And the fascists won because they were brown shirts and they were tough and they were willing to do shit like burn down the Reichstag, and they hustled, right? So what I'm fearful of is this collapse is going to happen in the 2020s in America, similar to how it happened in the 1920s in Germany, and we're going to come at a fork in the road again where we choose between either fascism or Marxism. And what I really want is people to wake up to a third option, which is populism. It's like America first principles, philosophy, get the fucking migrants out of here that are coming over here illegally. Let's have sound money again. Let's stop giving all of our money overseas to our enemies and our so-called allies who never reciprocate any of our affection, right? And so eventually what's going to happen is this corruption at the top, since our federal government is so powerful, is going to be so rampant that no one is going to be able to deny it anymore because life is going to be so financially painful. And we're already getting there where everybody's going to the grocery store and coming out with less than is on their list, right? And when we get to that point, it's clear that everybody's going to realize something is terribly wrong. What's unclear and challenging is whether people are going to diagnose the source of the problem correctly. So the Germans decided that it was all the Jews' fault, and we saw World War II and the Holocaust and all that shit, which I happen to believe in the Holocaust. I'm not a Holocaust, and I don't think it happened. I think the Germans killed a lot of people just because they were Jewish, who were not culpable.
You didn't say that before you came on the show.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
That's okay. We can
That's
disagree about it. I'll debate you about it. I'm cool.
Yeah, also that haircut doesn't really say what you're
I know,
saying.
right?
I mean,
I gotta be careful what I say
you
with this
told us
cut.
a whole different story, and now you've got the cut. Before we came on, you were like,
See if I can get
never
if I flip it
happened.
forward, can I get real mad? Like, it's not like this.
It almost looks worse. I mean, it's even more.
Right, you get the little,
right
you got a Sharpie,
there.
bro? You got a
Yeah.
Sharpie? And I'm German, too,
You've got a
Geiser.
5 o'clock Hitler.
Gotcha. So, anyway, in a nutshell, the point I'm trying to make is I hope that we choose populism and realize that the culprit is this political class. It's not white people. It's not black people. It's not Jewish people. It is the political elite who have made promises, not kept them, broken them, and betrayed us, and that we'll choose populism instead of fascism or Marxism in 2028 or whenever this collapse really manifests.
Yeah, it's generally a good idea that anytime anybody that's in charge is trying to blame one or more of the, let's call them pleb groups,
Yeah.
then the people in charge are 100% culpable for everything.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's generally, historically how it's worked.
Well, and right now we're seeing a lot of that, like it's just white people's fault, even though that we're still a majority of the population, which is unprecedented. That's what we hear from the Biden administration. Domestic terrorism is the leading cause of national security threat. White supremacy, right-wing extremism, MAGA Republicans instead of regular Republicans. They're now differentiating between MAGA and neocons.
Ultra MAGA.
Yeah. So the left in the political class is definitely trying to isolate and blame a certain sect of right-wing patriotic Americans for all of the problems in the country, whether they're cultural or fiscal.
Yeah, Catholic moms showing up to school board meetings upset that people are reading books to them about their kids getting their dicks cut off.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, can you not do that? Because that's fucked. And they're like, oh, terrorist.
Right.
Yeah.
You're a goddamn terrorist. You don't want to get your kid's dick cut off? Hell no, brother.
I don't think they say it in that accent, though.
They should. They
should.
be a lot more effective.
It sure is, dude. You drop into a deep Southern accent like that, dude, it's real effective.
And use the word repube.
Buy this fucking book, man. Like, people buy that fucking book.
Rise of
dude.
American Populism,
Yeah.
man. We're going to take it back.
That's our time, brother. The South will rise again.
The South is what I call my penis.
It sure is. And it will rise again. Probably in an hour, depending upon how hard it gets.
It
but-
depends. We'll see.
Nitric Boost at InfoWarsStore.com. You'll feel like you're 16 again.
Oh, yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough.
What are you taking? What boost is it?
Nitric oxide.
It
I don't
opens
know.
up all your capillaries, makes
Yeah.
that dick
It's a
so hard.
vaso-
Do you
di-
have it on
it's
you?
No, but I can get you some.
Because I'll test it live on air. We'll
Yeah.
see how bricked up
You
I
gotta
can
go back
get.
and redo episode 101, bro. Throw some nitric
I'll
boost
get
in there.
bricked up, dude, on this fucking show. I'll test it live on air, dude. We'll see.
See the
Can
tables.
you do it using just your imagination, or do you have to get massage? Could you just think?
Well, how
could you-
powerful is the
could you-
fucking boner
Could
pill?
you think a boner into existence? Sometimes
No.
I practice.
I can't think it in, but if I can, if I,
think
have
it's
enough
called-
wiggle room,
I think it's called
I
manifesting.
can make it happen.
Yeah.
I think it's
I
called.
can't think it into.
I think it's called
existence.
manifesting now.
Capital M, capital A, capital N.
Yeah,
Manifest.
if I can just shake it around a little bit, I can do it.
Yeah.
But will this give me an instant boner?
No, I mean it's not even designed to do that. It's supposed to be like a heart health muscle
Yeah, it's a
recovery supplement.
vasodilator, right?
Yeah, it's a vasodilator,
Yeah.
but the side effect of it is inadvertently that you wake up with a heart on every
Oh,
day.
with boners.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it actually won the Nobel Prize
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit.
in medicine, and I don't think
Yeah, ivermectin too. The same year.
ivermectin. Yep, same. Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Great.
boosted
I'm all
force.
in, dude. I'm all in. Let's do
Nobel
it.
won the prize for inventing dynamite, man. This always goes to terrorists.
Shit,
Yeah.
Obama invented it for being in office for 18 days. Or I'm sorry, won it for being
Just
in
for
office.
being black and
He won a
president.
Nobel Peace Prize for being in office for 18 days, and then proceeded to launch the most drone strikes of any American president
Right,
ever.
right.
Deserved. Give him another one. Give him one tomorrow.
I did
that-
Benghazi see that coming.
That wedding is pissing me off. Fucking Duke, get it?
Yeah. Boom, boom.
like it.
Do you think we can actually get to a third party and have a populist?
I don't think it has to be a third party. I
Okay.
think that we can transform the Republican Party populist.
Is that what Trump is trying to do?
I don't know if he's intentionally trying to do that or not, but that's what's happening. I mean, he is a populist running as a Republican, similar to how Ron Paul was a libertarian running as a Republican in 2008, 2012. There just isn't a populist party for him to run under. So you got to pick between the two parties in this country because most states have laws in place that are so prohibitive to getting a third party on the ballot. Like in Texas, for example, you have to get like 80,000 signatures within a 6-month window to even get another party on the ballot. It's got to be 10% of the number of people that voted in the last gubernatorial race, I believe. So it's so prohibitive. It's just a huge pain in the ass and a nightmare. What you got to do is go in and fix the party. And as the baby boomer generation retires or dies out, frankly, the neocon mentality is shifting away. All that's left is a young, radicalized MAGA Republican base with fascist haircuts. And so that's the Republican Party, whether it's going to be the majority in 10 years or not, is going to be a radical right-wing populist party.
I think so. Part of me,
and
though,
I use radical affectionately.
Well,
I mean,
it's
it's
right.
on the cover of my book.
But
I
part
like
of me will go back to the Tea Party when we had that movement, and then it just kind of fizzled out.
Yeah, but it was just bullshit.
Well, the thing about the Tea Party leadership, though, Michelle Bachmann, Steve King, morons is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I forgot about Bachmann. She was a dumb shit.
She's dumb as fuck, man.
What happened to her?
She's in Minnesota fucking fighting hockey moms.
Making out
other
with,
hockey moms, probably.
She punched a snowplow, I think, like 3 months ago.
Yeah, it was the same snowplow that ran over
Jeremy
Renner's
She
legs.
kidnapped Gretchen Whitmer.
Yep.
She may have been involved. We don't know.
Big
She probably
Gretch.
was. They're all feds.
Big Gretch. Look, I think the same thing could happen. It's just the organization of all of it. Like, you need somebody to organize this and then clean it out. So with Trump, and Dan and I have said this in the past.
Like, you mean like firing squads?
Sort of. Hey, but for real, hear me out on this.
I can say anything.
Well, yeah, you can, for sure. But hear me out on this. It's a different form of it. Firing as in you're fired. So like, fire the FBI.
Yes.
Fire the CIA. Fire the DOJ. Start over from there. Shut down the borders on day one. Get in there day one and just say, we're shutting it down. We're not getting any flights in and out of here from Muslim countries and all that other bullshit. We're shutting down the U.S.-Mexico border completely. No one is coming in until we figure out who the fuck is here and why.
Right.
It's got to be that dramatic to actually make a change towards this movement that we're talking about, because I agree with this, and I'm with you here.
Yeah. I agree with you, too.
Somebody's got to do it so dramatically.
Yeah, if we're going from philosophy to like action, what you're suggesting is absolutely the correct mode. And I was talking about this on air. I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks just because it's been on top of mind. 2016, I was polite. 2020, I was polite. If I was at like a social gathering where my kid had a birthday party or a neighbor's kid had a birthday party and somebody was talking shit about Trump, I just kind of held my tongue because I'm from the Midwest and it's impolite. Or if they were saying that they were going to vote for Biden, I just kind of go, I don't know, Yeah. And this time, no. If you tell me you're voting for Joe Biden at my kid's birthday party, you can get the fuck out of my house. Like, escalate. And it even calls in the fucking description of the book. This book is an escalation. And I'm not saying that just to plug my book, but it's time to escalate. Like, I am not tolerating these people anymore because we try to be gracious and we think that it's going to, curry favor. That's the way business works. Entrepreneurs are a lot like that. I grew up around small business owners. You do something nice for somebody, it just happens. It comes around 90 days later. You get a client that way. I mean, that's just the way Americans did shit. You do favors, it comes back. And Republicans have been acting like this, like, if I budge on this a little bit, Democrats will remember and then reciprocate down the road. Or like when Donald Trump said, "Oh yeah, because you'd be in jail." That was one of the best moments ever in a debate. But then he didn't do it because he's like, you know what? That's impolite. I'm gonna walk it back. This time, I hope he doesn't fucking do that. And when he made the decision not to do it, I was like, okay, maybe that was the right move. But now that we've seen when we give them an inch, they take a mile instead of giving us an inch back somewhere else. It's time for us to fucking play ball and
give them all 12 inches.
Give them all 12 inches.
Right.
Exactly. So fuck these people, man. You can't come to my house.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
I look at it for, like with Biden supporters, I look at it for a different reason. You hate money.
Yeah.
You hate the ability to make money and everything that's fucking going on. And
or you're
nobody
so
being
rich it
able to
doesn't
afford.
matter.
Right.
Yep.
Like De Niro.
And exactly. And that's not a fucking excuse.
And those people
'cause you
don't
know what it's like to actually go to the grocery store and buy shit. Like, for real.
You know when I knew that things were fucking weird? When I was in college, I would have to check my bank account before I filled up my gas tank to know how much I could put in. Okay, I could do $10, right? And then I had a business I started in 2016. It really took off. I made a lot of money for a couple years. And then I was like, I'm so glad that I've graduated from this part of my life where I have to worry about whether I have enough money for gas. I would always fill it to the top just so I didn't have to make another stop,
Yeah.
Now I'm putting regular instead of premium in my car, and I'm filling up like $15-20 at a time. Like, I got the money, but I don't want to spend it now. You know what I mean? And it's like that. It's just a small sign, and there's like 1,000 different ways that manifests. Whether it's a grocery store or other bills, weird things that you do, like canceling Netflix for the first time or whatever. Like that type of shit. I think people are feeling that. I don't think I'm the only one that's putting a quarter tank in at a time.
We've
you know what I mean?
We've historically referred to that as the misery index, right?
Yes.
It's the rate of unemployment.
I'm high on the misery index. I'm miserable, bro.
It's the, I
as
believe,
miserable as you can get.
I believe it is the rate of unemployment plus of accumulated inflation.
Yeah.
I think is what it is.
Well, that's
right?
another fucking thing that bothers me too. Joe
What, did they
Biden's
change the
bragging about
definition
record
of
unemployment. Our people with master's degree in engineering are fucking driving DoorDash, so they count as employed. It's like, like when Trump was president, everybody had one good job to make ends meet. Now that Biden's president, everybody has 3 shitty jobs and they're not making ends meet. Like, but you're unemployed. Like, yeah, so were the slaves. 0% unemployment, 1860, motherfucker. Is that a good thing? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. Well, they also changed the definition of the word inflation.
Yeah, and unemployment.
Yeah.
Unemployment as well, yeah.
Unemployment happened during the Bush administration, to be honest. In 2006, I think, is when they started changing that definition. But inflation, up until this administration, this Biden administration, meant what it meant. And now they've removed energy costs and housing costs from inflation.
Oh.
It's like, all right, so the things
housing's like the number one indicator.
you need
No
to
shit.
It's like I bought my house for $450,000. Now it's worth like $700,000. No, there's no way I could have bought it today. I just bought it 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's
That's
retarded.
it. That's it. And nobody can buy shit now.
Right, they're all fucked. I'm in. Fuck you guys. Sorry.
So that
Voting for Biden.
the two for me this election, the two for me, it's immigration and then obviously finances. And then Democrats, they're just going to run off of abortion. Even this weekend, I was Kamala's Twitter was about abortion.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're still all in on abortion.
Yeah, you have Chuck Schumer griping about depopulation and calling for the amnesty of all illegal immigrants,
Correct.
but at the same time advocating for abortion. It's like, don't you think we should breed them here instead of bringing them here?
Well, you know what's nice about My Body, My Choices? You can choose not to let random dudes cream pie you, stupid bitch. I mean, look into it, maybe. I don't know. What am I thinking?
I didn't know the cream pie detail.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's
part of it.
You're on Drinkin Bros now.
Yeah, because you're married, right?
Yes.
You got kids?
Yeah, I just had my 6-year anniversary. Got 2 little girls. 3 1.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
but it took 2 cream pies to do that, you know?
Yeah.
At minimum.
Yeah, there's been more.
Yeah.
More, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
now
well-
it's like the only thing I do.
We'll check the. We'll,
Making up for lost time, bro. There's a long time you had
we'll
to pull
check
it out.
we'll check the books and see what the total number is after the show. We'll put that in the notes for you guys, obviously, just
Sure
for
will.
your situational awareness.
I say your over-under is 1,200 cream pies in your life for you.
I don't know.
Guy like you?
Average time you have sex, a week times how many times you've been having sex? Hundreds.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'd say 1,200 just for you. That's just a guess, you know?
I'm flattered.
How
It's a nitric
old are
boost.
you?
I'm 33.
33?
Oh, you're
33,
just a
33.
couple of months away from beating Jesus.
Yeah, that's right.
I know. It's the last year of my ministry.
Congratulations. Yeah. Do you think you're going to be?
Do you think it was a sacrifice or a
I'd
long-term
stay away
investment?
from Rome, is all I'm going to say.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Just for the next at least
They
year.
washed their hands of me a long time ago, bro. Let Barabbas go, dude.
Yeah, if you see any lowercase t's around, you may want to avoid those.
Bro,
as well.
every man I look at is lowercase t.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It sure is, man.
Nitric boost, bro.
We'll
Superman
find
lights
out what happens. What are you guys doing for election night over there?
You know, I don't fucking know. The 5th of November, we don't even know if we're going to be open, bro. We're constantly in lawsuits.
I know.
Every week, it's like, is this the last week? Jones is like panicking, you know?
Is that what it's like?
Yeah, dude. It's at InfoWars. It's the Battle of Hoth. Like their ceiling is collapsing. Everybody's running around frantically trying to get organized. Princess Leia's yelling at Han Solo because he's trying to take off, and the Empire is outside the door blasting down the shield generator. That is InfoWars every day.
It's like a Jewish electronics store in Manhattan. It's going out of business.
Always. But
Right?
never
You
closed.
You probably shouldn't comment on that with that
But
haircut.
never closed.
Yeah, never closed. Yeah.
I always tell Alex when I'm fucking with him, like the InfoWars is never won or lost. You're either winning or you're losing it. But the war is forever.
The war really is
right.
forever. And I can't tell if he loves the war.
He loves it. Oh, that motherfucker says he wants to quit and retire all the time. And I love Alex Jones. I
He's
love
full
him like
of shit.
family.
He's never gonna.
He
retire.
But then he's
Never
coming in on
retire.
Memorial Day. He's like, I just can't relax with the family. You want to take a fucking break? You went on a 2-week vacation to Hawaii. This last 7 days, you broadcasted on air from Hawaii every day.
Did he really?
Yeah.
He's not
like,
one
dude,
fucking
he can't
prayer,
quit.
dude.
He loves it.
He lives for the fight, man.
Yeah.
I agree.
Thank
he
God
loves
for
it.
him,
Which is
too. He's an
good.
American hero,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
He's an American hero.
Good for everybody that
Yeah.
he is a maniac.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now's the point in the show we get to this thing called Drinkin' Bro of the Week, which is someone who has inspired you or helps you become the person you are today. Who'd you like to give the Drinkin' Bro of the Week to?
Does that have to be a real person?
No, it could be Han Solo if you want. Go ahead.
Yeah, we've had over 2,000 episodes on Drinkin' Bros. We've heard
A lot of
much
different
everything.
stuff. Yeah, I mean, somebody did Chewbacca. They just growled for 45 minutes. It was that's a trademark thing now.
It is,
So I
yeah.
think
We
we're
just
fucked,
get
yeah.
dings.
George
They
Lucas.
trademarked it?
George
Yeah.
Lucas
I heard
gonna
they-
walk through the door.
I heard they bought Darth Vader's voice. I would
did.
probably say the most important book that I ever read that changed my life was The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand. So I'm going to say Ayn Rand is my drinking bro, particularly the character Howard Rourke in that book.
Okay.
If it's got to be a dude, it's hard work.
No, that's going to be anybody.
It can be anybody, but
She was a little bit of like a harsh-looking woman, but she was a fucking badass.
That's an interesting one. Nobody's ever said that on the show. Did you
Well,
watch some
special.
movies?
Yeah, they were terrible.
Yeah, they were
But
bad.
the movie for The Fountainhead was made in the 40s, and she wrote the screenplay. It's good. So if you don't want to read 800 pages, just watch that like hour and 40.
I haven't
movie.
seen that one.
Okay.
I've only seen the more recent ones.
Oh,
with
yeah,
that
the Atlas
fucking-
Shrugged one.
That
Terrible.
German actor that plays.
It's so bad. I think they made it bad on purpose to make nobody want to read the book.
You think that's what it is?
The book is so fucking good. Yeah, the movies I watched them, I like wept because they were so bad. It was like the 1980s Dune movie.
Yeah.
You watch it compared to the new ones, you're like,
oh,
fuck.
Oh, I know,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Tell everybody where they can get your book.
Pre-order it on Amazon. It's called The Rise of American Populism. My name is Chase Geiser. You can find me at Real Chase Geiser on Twitter, and all the shit's linked there too. So if you don't want to search it on Amazon, you can just follow me on Twitter, and you'll find a link right there. Forward by Alex Jones, written up on the back by Gavin McInnes, Roger Stone, Jack Maxey, and Jack Posobiec. So good stuff, guys. Thank you so much for having me. You're fucking awesome.
It's a fucking blast.
This
Come
was a
back
fun
anytime.
one. Yeah, have me back anytime.
Yeah, you're here in Austin.
InfoWars
so
closes.
pop
I'll just
by.
move in.
Well, we got the studio space, so
Yeah.
if you're
there's a
if you're
guy.
serious,
There's a
Yeah.
guy that lives out back actually. So
he
great.
lives in the trailer. He's our editor. Is
Yeah.
he here?
no, I think he's on his way back from Prague right now.
God damn it, dude! I told him, I go, hey, we have work on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh, cool, man. I'll be back on Tuesday. You don't get the flight
Tuesday-
home
Tuesday at
from
11:59
Prague, you fucking loser.
PM.
Jesus
And it's
Christ.
supposed to storm a bunch too.
Is it?
Maybe
If
it-
he goes
Allegedly.
down, it'd be
Wait,
great for the show.
did we insure him?
So Alex Jones is right about more things in the future than any meteorologist, though. So
That's true.
They're
Meteorologist means
always
liar
wrong.
in Spanish. A lot
They're
of people
always
know that.
fucking wrong.
Yeah. My dad did it. He wasn't a meteorologist, by the way. I'm dead serious.
He had to sit in for a week, right?
He had to fill in for a week.
No shit.
And
He
it
was,
said
like, pointing at the green
meteorologist
screen?
C.K. Patterson. Yeah.
like,
it
what is
wasn't a
this
green screen
bullshit?
back then. It was magnets. Remember the orange,
That's like
happy
Groundhog Day
sunshines
shit.
and
Where he's like
shit?
blowing the wind.
Totally was, dude. I used to go in as a kid and fuck it up.
That's
All you
awesome.
had to do was just move the magnet.
Yeah.
And right before they went on air, there's
You
nothing
should have
they
brought
could
in
do.
like the letters and put like a bad word in a real obscure part of the screen, so that like if you look closely, it just like said cunt. in the
Well, I
letters.
tried to make 2 sunshine balls, so it was like a little dick and balls at a sunshine, but
like, connected to Florida. Like or
they
something.
caught it. Yeah, they caught it before they went on air. God damn it, man. I was like, well, you're not a real meteorologist.
Well, a lot of people would say ain't no sunshine when she's gone, right? Bill Withers specifically would say that.
Sure did. R.I.P.
He said it several times. Wait, is he dead?
Yeah, Bill Withers.
I don't
is dead.
think Bill
Might as
Withers
well
is
be.
dead.
He's dead. He's dead.
Did you
I'm
do
a
it?
big fan.
How do you know? Did you do it?
I'm a big fan.
Did you do it?
He died like recently.
Just the
like,
two of us, bitch.
he died like last year.
Just the one of us.
Now
that I'm dead.
Now that he's gone. Speaking of which, shit, real quick, Delco went to the Dead show this weekend. Bill Walton died. That was shocking as fuck yesterday.
R.I.P.
I didn't even know he had cancer.
Well, he's had a lot of health problems, right? Injuries mostly.
I knew that, but
yeah.
I didn't know he actually had cancer. So that was a crazy one yesterday.
Well, here's the problem with that. So he stayed lean, but he wasn't able to build muscle mass. And the number one predictor of surviving cancer is skeletal muscle mass, right?
Oh shit, I'm fucked.
Yeah, you're fucked, man.
So probably get in the gym a little bit, maybe, if you don't have any.
Well, shit. His was hard, though. I mean, he was.
Seriously, you
His body was broken for years
he
and
was
years
fucked.
and years.
Yeah,
He would have been.
his back and his feet were both fucked.
He might have been the greatest NBA player of all time if he didn't have injuries.
By the time he retired, he probably would have been at that point.
Stephen
yeah.
Hawking, same thing.
I know. R.I.P. Man.
Would have been good.
You think that wheelchair was in the bedroom down in Epstein Island?
No, that's a troll, man.
I think it's real. I
No,
think they
no.
put the chair in there. I think that's the only way you could get off.
Oh, they drove it over his dick?
No, not that. I just think the chair had to be near him. That's the smell of the metal, There's people who are addicted to car crashes, and that's the only way they can get off.
Where's the chair now? Is it in like a museum?
I want.
I think you've been sniffing the seat, actually.
I want the seat, dude. I just want to sniff that seat.
If they did an auction for Stephen Hawking's chair
This chair. I just want the seat.
with
I
the
just
computer
wanna
and shit,
smell
like
it.
you could sit in it and like move your eyes and it would be like ABC, X, Y, do W.
Awesome, dude. I just want to sniff that seat.
What if
We got it for Jones, bro. We got to do Jones doing a broadcast in the
What if
chair.
that?
Really
What if that's
fucking
where all
do
the
it.
power came from? What if you just understand black holes immediately when you sit down in the chair, and that's why they won't let you have it?
Because his black hole was on.
We need
maybe.
to bring Ian Crossland back to talk about that. I bet
We will.
he'd have something to say about that.
Yeah, we will for sure.
Yeah, it's made of graphene.
Appreciate you being here for real. You're welcome back anytime.
so
man.
fun, man.
You're awesome.
So fun.
You're awesome. Buy the book. Pre-order is available now. All of those pre-order sales count towards the first week for the New York Times bestseller list. Go to iTunes, rate the show a 5-star, and leave a quick review. Also, head on over to Spotify. It's just a 5-star, and you can walk away. All right? I'm going to keep asking because you won't do it. I said get to 10,000. We're at 8,300 reviews. Get us to fucking 10,000 on Spotify, and I'll shut the fuck up about it forever. For D'Anthony and Anthony Hollaway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the Drinkin' Bros.